moving on past that, quick transitions. Are you ready to get into something I'm really excited for? Something I didn't care about.
You have
something
a lot.
I actually really care about a lot.
And I'm just gonna sit here and let you talk for a while.
Okay, are you ready to talk about Akira Yamaoka's Silent Hill 2 original video game soundtrack? Okay, how much you know about Silent Hill 2?
I've played it.
You played
I
it.
enjoy it. I like the lore. I like the themes behind it. The music's pretty good.
The music is amazing, and I think it stands on its own.
does.
So, Akira Yamaoka, Japanese composer, sound designer, guitarist, and producer, mostly known for producing the soundtrack to the Silent Hill series, as well as serving as the composer for the game's 2 films. We covered the Silent Hill 1 film on Is It a Film, so check that out if you haven't.
It will never do Silent Hill Revelations because it's terrible.
We will. I don't know how terrible it is, and I want to see how bad it passes F.
It's considered notably worse than Silent Hill.
How bad is passes 0? What is a -1? I want to know.
We're gonna hit like a negative 10 with Revelations, I feel like.
He's recently made additions to the soundtracks of Filing Lotus's Kuso and games like Lollipop Chainsaw, Persona 4, Dancing All Night, and Let It Die. He has a real knack for creating terrific ear-catching and mood-establishing soundtracks with experimental, loud rock, ambient, industrial setting environments, like one on Silent Hill 2, which is noteworthy to being his best work and noteworthy for being a cult classic because of that. Silent Hill 2 is kind of a weird cult classic in its own right. It's no surprise that his influences are artists like Nine Inch Nails, David Lynch and Angelo Badalamenti, and Metallica and Depeche Mode. Can't forget Depeche Mode. Not only did he do music for Silent Hill 2, he was head of sound design, meaning he had to know to completely fill the tone of the setting of the game with this off-putting attraction that the game has in aspects of sound. Not only in aspects of sound, but visually and narratively. Now we're talking about the original soundtrack. There's a complete edition on YouTube that has more experimental moments, which I think some of the most experimental moments and some of the best moments come from the complete edition, but it's not really a canon edition. Yeah. Someone just ripped the game files.
Yeah.
And if you can find it on YouTube, I'll put like a link down to if you want to check it out. I'll put a link to the original soundtrack too, because that doesn't really have a physical streaming release, so it's only really on YouTube, and you can get a vinyl of it. You can't like buy it on iTunes or anything.
Yeah.
But it has the complete edition has this like things from like field recordings to just straight metal being hit melodically, which this original soundtrack has moments like too. So covering this is 30 tracks, and it runs about an hour and 13 minutes. It covers all the soundtrack of Silent Hill by Akira Yamaoka, and it's terrific.
I actually listened to the soundtrack while just reading about Silent Hill. Like I was just going through like the wiki fan page of Silent Hill, just like going through all the monster fans. I'll just listen to the soundtrack. It was perfect.
Yeah. So basically what this does so well is concept it covers all aspects of the surreal, whether it be the positive kind of weightless side, the more like I like to call the underwater bright tones, or the very dark, grimy, filthy tones where it just sounds like just what is it? Lou Reed's Metal Machine music or whatever it is. Just weird metal sex noises that are disgusting. It covers all of that. You get these mix of like more hard rock moments. You get mixes of these bubbling beauty. World of Madness has this underwater nature with the bubbliness of the synths that just shimmer up is complete perfection. You get the unwilling nature of white noise that just kind of drifts apart. It feels like the world is kind of isolated and it's frantic and it's shimmering. There's beauty in this isolation, which is really nice. You get moments like Ashes and Girth, which is complete filthy. You get these hectic drums like you're being chased, and then it leads into this like weird screeching field recording light moment. You get moments like Terror in the Depths of Fog, which is a complete clapping and bapping industrial moment, which is just complete slaps like nothing else. It's great. You get moments like the Reverse Wheel, which sounds like a more traditional hip-hop instrumental with a great saxophone sampled and great reverse vocals. That is the As I Lay Down to Weep, I prayed the Lord my soul to sleep, but it's in reverse. As a child performs it. There's just a lot here, and I feel like I really just wanted to take a moment to just really talk about it a little bit and just analyze how Akira does everything so well over this an hour and 30 minutes. I feel like the soundtrack is pretty long for what it is, but it is the true backing to the game.
Yeah.
And the game's really long.
The game's really long. There's a lot going on in the games. Obviously, the soundtrack is going to be long and have a lot going on. What I found interesting listening to this is like it was very clear like David Lynch, his music and the way he uses sound in like movies was an influence on it. But also you could hear like how this like soundtrack in reverse like then influenced David Lynch's like later work.
Yeah.
Like you can hear like the elements of like Eraserhead's like very industrial soundtrack on this, and you can also get a bit of like how Twin Peaks uses music and like kind of shifts things around.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think
you
moments
see
like,
how,
the theme of Lore and also Promise
Yeah.
have these big like 90s drums. They have these big key registers. They have thick guitar on it, heavy guitar on it.
But then like you see how like it goes heavier with like some of the rock elements. You can see that in season 3 of Twin Peaks where like David Lynch started including things like that. And he was kind of developing off of what Silent Hill had done to develop off of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. And you get moments like Magdalene, which has this very isolated key playing, and it feels like it's just very distant. Like the keys are very far away from you, and they're being played very frailly and just quiet. You get moments like Love Psalm and No One Love You, which is just metal being screeched, and it's amazing. There's a mix of just everything on here. Different sounds and textures. It's an hour-long kind of almost sort of ambient album that works really well, and it takes you on so many different passages. It covers, again, surreal in so many different aspects, and it just really leaves a full register. I don't know what else to say. I think it's just a great hour and 13 minutes of music.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. Keep in mind those scores a few times meaningless right now. I'm feeling a 9 on this.
0, it's too spooky for me.
It's too spooky.
No, it's a 9.
It's a 9.
It's a great soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to cover it because we don't really get to go back to things when we're too busy, and now that we have a break for a little bit, and there's not too many major releases, we get to just talk about Silent Hill for a minute. Leave it at that.